At this point, you have practiced defining the problem behavior and have some good guidelines on how to go ahead and do that. So we're going to move on then to really building on that and then understanding the where and when these problem behaviors occur, and really specifically looking at the routines, the time and place that these occur, and of course the triggering antecedents that happen right before that. So looking at the where and when, the where is going to be thinking about the routine. So where the problem behavior is most likely to occur, the time and place. The examples here are during math class or gym class, and we want to be more specific when we get into that. The when are these specific events or antecedents that occur within that routine that then trigger the problem behavior. So these are things that really signal the behavior is going to occur. So when given double digit addition, when given directions. So looking first, big picture, where are the problem behaviors occurring? What are the routines that they occur in, the time and place? So specifically during math class from 10 to 10:45. Maybe it's unstructured activities in lunch or recess. So we're going to look at some examples, and I want you to help me identify what are the routines in these examples. At the lunch table, when told to shut up by a peer, Ben hits the student. Remember, we always start with the problem behavior, Ben hitting the student. So then the routine here is the where at the lunch table. In language arts class, when asked to read aloud in class, Tracy gets up and tells jokes. We always start with the problem behavior of getting up and telling jokes. What routines does this commonly occur in? In language arts class. During circle time, when praised, Jessie starts crying. The problem behavior for Jessie is crying. Where does this commonly occur? During circle time. Once we identify the routine, then we want to identify the specific triggers, specific events that occur right before the problem behavior. So think of these things as the events or actions, maybe even sometimes objects that occur right before the problem behavior. Think of these as the when, the condition, maybe as a trigger that sets off the problem behavior. So within these same examples now, identifying the routine and antecedent in these examples. At the lunch table, when told to shut up by a peer, Ben hits the student. We know the problem behavior is Ben hitting the student. The routine is at the lunch table. The specific antecedent then that triggers this is when he's told to shut up by a peer. In language arts class, when asked to read aloud in class, Tracy gets up and tells jokes. Problem is, of course, telling jokes. The routine you've identified is language arts. What specifically happens in language arts? What is the antecedent here? When asked to read aloud in class. During circle time, when praised, Jessie starts crying. Problem is Jessie crying. The routine is during circle time. Specifically, what happens in circle time that triggers her crying? It's when Jessie is praised. Now we're going to do a couple of activities. We'll do one together and you'll do one below and fill out the boxes below, but it's going to be in these frames. We're going to look at the routine in which the problem behavior occurs and what are the antecedents for that. We always start with the behavior, then we look at the routine, and then the antecedents that trigger that problem behavior. So we'll do an example together. In this example, during passing period in the hallway before recess, when peers tease him about his walk, AJ calls them names and hits them. You always start with the behavior. AJ's problem behavior is calling names and hitting. Where does this occur? During passing period before recess. And the antecedent that triggers this, peers teasing him about his walk. So below you will have the opportunity to complete this example, and make sure again you follow the same format of completing the behavior first, then the routine, and the specific antecedents. Make sure you complete all those sections and click yes to see the answers.